Hello, the Miss Yo-Yo Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you had a great day today. I like your post. Thank you so much for the post. I give people a couple of minutes to get in. I know sometimes the notifications don't go out as quick as we would like them to because it hasn't come up on my phone yet at all. Hey, CJ's Info. Hey, how are you? Welcome. I am giving people, there it is. It just popped up on my phone. So, hey, Jazz and Nicole. Hey, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Give everybody a few minutes to get in. Hope everybody had a great day. It went by fast. CJ. Hey, Taylor. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, dear. Thank you for coming. James Money 615. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for coming. We give everybody a few minutes to come in. So today we are going to be talking about cognitive difficulties. Hey, Jasmine Easley, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, CJ gives a lot of great information. So I see sis. Hey, Burns. Hey, welcome, sis. How are you? Thank you for coming. Thumbs me up, thumbs me up, thumbs me up, thumbs me up. I actually like this beat. Okay, so now we can get started. I've given people 5 minutes to get in, and as they flow in, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to talk about cognitive difficulties today. And my situation My information stems from multiple sclerosis, but I want to know in the audience, how many of you think that cognitive difficulties come from a disease, or what is your thought about cognitive difficulties? If you could tell me in the chat, what do you think about cognitive difficulties? Do you think it's something that stems from an illness, or do you think it's something from age, or what do you think? Tell me, what do you think? Do you think only certain people have cognitive difficulties? So this link is behind because I'm looking on StreamYard, so I'm having to look at my phone as well. So in case you didn't watch my video that was out on Monday, it was supposed to be premiered, but something happened with YouTube. I don't know. Some people saw it as a premiere. Some people just had to catch the replay. I don't know what happened. It was shown as a premiere up until that time. So yes, we're going to go ahead and talk about it. So let's see. Yo-Yo says that the Miss Yo-Yo Show says that the cognitive difficulty stems from illness, age, etc. Yes, that is correct. CJ says that he has short-term memory loss. I think it's called selective hearing, according to my wife. CJ, I'm going to have to agree with that. You only hear what you want to hear. Let's see. Let's see. Jasmine, oh, the chat is moving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can be from an illness or come from an accident. Thank you, Jasmine Nicole. That is correct. And let's see. So yes. Oh, and CJ said his daughter too. So yes, cognitive difficulties do start from, it could be it's a part of your brain that just doesn't connect. And each part of your brain does a different thing. One does for your speech, one does for your limbs. There's a part that works for your organs. So it is a difficulty. My dog, she does the same to me. I don't know. CJ. So yes, it is a function that is just not all stemmed from a illness, because as you know, dementia is an illness. Alzheimer's is an illness, but also as you get older, your mind does disconnect a little. So it has something to do with a lot of things. Actually, as I say all the time, what we eat has a lot to do with our brain and with our function. So, and my mom, okay, I'll stop. CJ, you're funny. So yes, what you eat has a lot to do with it too. And I did a video and I talked about certain things. You're supposed to eat foods that are surrounded by your, yeah, CJ, surrounded by, that symbolizes your body parts. So for instance, I love walnuts. Walnuts is a major brain food. So I try to eat walnuts more now than I did before in the past. So also, let's see. Thank you, Miss Yo-Yo Show. So yes, I'm going to stop looking because I got my mods out there. They're working the thing. So thank you. I'm going to leave that alone. So yes, what we eat has a lot to do with our brain. It has to do with our whole body. And when we talk about cognitive difficulties, I'm going to start with mine. And yeah, walnuts are really delicious. I love them. I love them now. And I usually like the walnuts that are in syrup, something that is not healthy for me, but I like that, the wet walnut. So yes, if you eat foods that symbolize as a part of your brain, you're supposed to eat more of those, like kidney beans for your kidneys, walnuts for because it looks just like your brain. Pecans or pecans, however you say it. That's another one too. That's a brain food. So with multiple sclerosis, mine started out. I can almost guarantee you that my MS kicked in prior to me being diagnosed, like probably from when I was knee high to a duck when I was a little girl. So it has a lot to do with my cognitive issues. Now, Taylor says both age and what type of condition you have. Yes, Taylor, that is correct. Age has a lot to do with it, because why do you think? Well, here's the thing. Have you guys ever heard of the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it? Well, if you're in school, you're constantly, well, anytime you're working, you are doing something. You're thinking about something. You're supposed to use your brain for everything that you do. So if you're not using your brain and it's just there in a vegetated stage, then yes, you're going to have cognitive difficulties. Mine started out again when I was younger. Things would happen and I couldn't remember why. Even when I was studying in college, I would know the work. I would know it like the back of my hand. And when it came to testing, I would not remember it. I could not remember it. So those are the type of things that you have to worry about with your cognitive issues. What you're doing to feed your brain. There is things that, of course, there is no cure for it. There's medication, but who wants to take medication when you can knock that out by doing certain things, such as taking on, I play a lot of games on my phone that has something to do with your brain. So you can do all of that stuff to kind of get yourself on track for using your brain. I had a manager and his name, now we're friends, his name was CJ. And he used to say to me all the time, never trust your mind, always write it down. And I would say, I don't need to write it down. I'm young. I'm not going to forget that. And he would put post-it notes all over the cubicle when I come back from lunch, to be post-it notes everywhere. And he kept those little, what are they called? Oh, those little tablets, the legal pads. He would keep those and he would always write things down. So one day I was at work and I saw his desk and he had all of these individual legal pads. He had one for himself, one for me, one for the other lady that worked for me, one for his wife. He had a legal one for his parents. He had a legal pad for everything. And I'm like, that should drive you crazy because you're always trying to figure out what the heck. If I had all that stuff on my list, it would drive me crazy because I would have to get it done. And do you know this man got rid of everything on his list every day? Every day. Hey, the Life of Cleo, welcome. Thank you for coming. So yes, he wrote everything down because he said, never trust your mind, always write it down. Fast forward many years later, now I say that all the time. Never trust your mind, always write it down because it's no joke to forget. It's no joke. Now, here's something else that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So for me, mine's again, they are claiming it to be on the multiple sclerosis that I fight for, that I fight with every day. And they went to tell me that I had to go and take a test. And I don't know if any of you guys ever taken the test to check your cognitive skills, but I took the test and I have to take it every so many years. And I've always said it in my videos. Hey, the porter, welcome. Thank you for coming. So, hey, Lady C. Russell, thank you for coming. So I ended up having to go take the test like every so many years. So I didn't have to take it this year, and I'll probably have to take it next year because it gets worse. It gets worse. So when I went to take the test the first time, that bothered me a lot because I could not function. So they gave me the simplest test was the one, you know, when you were a kid, you had those little blocks that you put them in the little thing, you red, the blue, the green, the circle, the square, the triangle. And it was easy in the beginning. Hey, Rob, Allbanks. Hello, 9 inches for your little body. Thank you. A booty. I'm sorry. Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I had to take the test, and it's all time. So in the beginning, it was easy, right? The triangle, the square, the circle. I mean, it's common sense. And then it gets harder as the time go on. So I get to this one spot and I'm like trying to fit this block. They give you this puzzle and you got to put all these pieces together to make it fit. And I couldn't get the puzzle to fit. And I tried and I tried and I tried. And I got so angry and aggravated that I slapped it off the desk. I got upset because I'm like, I know that this is a setup. Now, how many of you out there think that those type of testing is a setup? How many of you think that it is something that is set up to set you up for failure? If you think it is, let me know. Because I thought it was a setup. Because I looked at it and I said, there is no way in the hell this is going to fit. No way, no way, no how. And I got really, really frustrated with it. So then it went on and they did another series of tests. And the testing was, they tell you to come in, they want you to wear loose clothes, be relaxed, and all these other things. So I'm taking the test. And in the beginning, it was really fun. I was like, oh yeah, this is a no-brainer. I can do this. But then as time goes on, it gets harder and harder and harder. So Jasmine said it's not. And I did the second part of the test. And here's what I'm going to do for you guys. I am going to give you guys 3 words. And don't write them down. The 3 words is appetite, puppy, and legal. Now, these are not the words that they gave me, but they gave me 3 words. And throughout the test, they would say, so how many words, what were the words that I told you? The first time I remembered all 3 because it was right after they had given it to me. I was like, oh, this is a no-brainer. This is easy. So Taylor said, my doctor said a strong memory is part of, yes, Taylor, you're correct. You are correct. That is true. So meanwhile, going through the test, and I'm like, okay, hey, Cooking IMO. And if I missed anybody, please charge it to the brain, not the heart. But welcome. So, Rob, you didn't already forget, did you? So I'm going on through the process, and I could not. I did it the first time. So then we went on and on and on. So then they gave me another test. So this is when I thought it became confusing, because I thought that they were doing these type of things just to confuse you and to make sure to set you up for failure. So we go on, and then they start telling you after 2 times repeating it. Yes, I couldn't. You didn't hear the second word? Okay, let me tell you again, because I have forgotten the word too. So give me a second. I'll call it back to you. Is appetite, puppy, and legal. Appetite, puppy, and legal. So I went on with the test, and they started saying things like, hey, yeah, so can you read this passage for me? So they give you this little paragraph to read. And then they said, well, what do you think that, I'm just going to throw a name, what did you think Sally was talking about? So I'm sitting there like, okay, so this is like first grade again. Okay, so I did it. The next thing you know, they said, so what were those 3 words again? I remember 2. So then to throw fuel into the flame, they were like, yeah, so we're going to give you 4 numbers. So they gave me words and numbers to remember. And that was the hardest thing I had to do, was remember those things. And when I got finished at that appointment, I literally cried, because I'm like, how in the heck could I? And to this day, I do not remember the words to this day. And I asked them, I said, do you give everybody the same word? They said, no, we just make them up. And no, I couldn't remember it. I said, how many people actually get this correct? And she says, well, it depends on the person. So, they're trying to creep around without telling, giving away things. But this is what happened. So years later, they came out to my house for a visit, and they were giving the test again. So then they would do stuff like, so what's 4 plus 4? So, 4 plus 4 is 8. So you just start rambling on, and then it gets harder and harder and harder. So then the one that really got me was, Susie went to the store, and she spent $7.28, and she gave the cashier a $100 bill. How much change did she get back? And you couldn't use a calculator. You couldn't use a stick, couldn't check it off, and you weren't supposed to use your fingers. So I was like, wow. Now all day long, nobody wants to mess with their money. So you would normally just jump right at it. And the money thing, I couldn't jump at it. And I don't know if I was intense or what, but I was like, wow, I cannot count. So the kicker was, I went into the bank to cash my payroll check. And at that time, they didn't have direct deposit set up at the company. It was a new company, and they had a new account. And my husband was like, it's a new company. Go cash that check. Don't wait for it to be deposited into the bank. Go cash it. So I went out, and I went to the bank that it was drawn on, and I cashed the check. So they gave me the check, and I'm just going to tell you the amount. It was like $2,800 and some change. So, hey, SR 1874, hello, welcome. So I'm sitting there and I'm counting the teller, they count the money. They put it in that machine first, and then they count it to you on the counter. And then I normally go behind and count it myself. Now, first of all, I'm trying to sit there behind the counter and count it where nobody could see me counting it. So when I walk out the door, surprise, give me your money. So I'm sitting there counting and I'm counting and I'm counting. And I could not count the money. I could not say 10 times $100 bill. I'm sitting there counting and counting. So finally I said, do you have a room that I can go in and count this? And she said, yeah, sure. So she sent me into a room and I was in there counting the money. I counted that money at least 4 times before I got it. Now, I don't know anybody out there that would not be able to count their coins. We are all about our money, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm counting. I finally got it. When I left that bank, I sat on that parking lot and I cried like a baby because I could not believe that I could not count out $2,800 and some change. I couldn't count it out. I kept counting and counting and counting. And I was like, this is not right. And then I get confused because I'm like, so I had them all stacked, the hundreds, the tens, the fives, the ones. And I'm sitting there counting and counting and counting. And it was really a mess. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't count it out. And I kept counting and counting. I finally got it. And I said, I won't do this again. I won't, because that was too scary. I could not figure out what was going on with my money. So that was part of the test. And then after that part of the test, that test had so many different things. So we had to also go out again. They gave us numbers. So here's a set of numbers: 54, 13, 76, 99. So that's 54, 13, 76, and 99. So does anybody remember the 3 words that I gave you guys in the chat in the beginning? All 3 of the words, or is it 2? Just put a number if you can remember all 3, if you can remember 1, or if you can remember none of them. Comprehensive, Taylor, is when you actually are knowing the idea, the main idea. You're able to comprehend what was saying. What the difference is on cognitive is when you don't remember. You don't remember it. Lady C remembered all 3. Very good, Lady C. Jasmine, good, very good. And Jasmine Nicole says she forgot. Don't feel bad. That was me. Hello, V Scott. Hey, welcome. How are you? Yeah, that would be me. That would definitely be me, Jasmine Nicole. That would definitely be me. So yeah, so I had to go through those type of tests, and I have to do it every so often. So it is not. Don't feel bad, Jazzy. No, please don't feel bad because I'm the leader of the pack. I'm telling you, I am the leader of the pack. So I was doing some research. I was reading some medical journals. So when I was in nursing school, we did a lot of papers and things like that. So we had to, they wouldn't let you use Google, which I tell you guys don't do Google because Google will have you diagnosed with something you don't even have and have you scared. I'm doing fine. Thanks, B. Scott. I hope you're doing well as too. Hey, Tuba. Hello. Welcome. So yes, train of thought. Forgot. What was I saying? Oh my gosh. I forgot what I was just saying. Google. Thank you. Don't do the Google. So I read a lot of medical journals. So have you guys ever walked through a door in your kitchen or in your bedroom or any door, in the front door, out the front door, and get in there and forgot what you were going in the kitchen to do or going outside to do or in the bedroom or the bathroom or wherever? Have you ever done that and forgot what you were going in there for? And I know I have. Hey, Zaya Rose. Hey, dear. How are you? So, yes, you do it all the time. Exactly. There is a theory. And we had to do this in college because Exactly. Yes, Vern. Yes. When you go and you're like, what did I come in here for? Do it all the time. And I catch myself in the kitchen and I'm like, what did I come in here for? And I'm looking all around. And mind you, I'm cooking. And I'm like, what am I doing? What did I come in here for? Meanwhile, the stove is beeping. I see a pile of dishes that I need to wash from cooking. I see just everything. I'm sitting there like, why did I really come into this kitchen? There is a theory. It's called a door theory. And there's an article in the medical journals. And if you guys want it, I'll be happy to send that to you. But the medical journal has a thing. It's a theory called the open going through the door. And what it is that a lot of us, we have so much on our plate that when we go into that room, we're not specifically going in there for that one thing because there's so much other stuff around you that you have to do in that room. So you cannot pinpoint that one thing that you needed to go in there for. Now, also with that being said, they did a test. And what they did was they tested a group of people to go through the door through a door that had the same distance. So like I'm walking with you and we're walking in the same direction, but we're doing different things. I had a box, and in my box I had some things in the box, and you didn't have anything, but you walked through a different door, and you were able to comprehend and say, "Oh, I came out here to cut the grass." Me, I'm in the kitchen like, "What did I come in here for?" I have this box of stuff in there that I needed to do, like a dirty cup or some seasoning that I took off the table. So it's the difference in that. So it is when you are out and about and you walk through a door, next time you walk through a door in your kitchen or wherever, and make sure you go and see if you go in and see that you have forgotten what you go into that kitchen. But I know a lot of us do it. I'll even do it I'll even do it when I'm going to the bathroom. Like, what did I come in here for? Oh yeah, I came in here to use the bathroom. Came in here to turn the curler off. Came in here to wash my face. So it happens. Let's see, Taylor, puppy legal, and she forgot the third word. So with me talking to you guys, and you are communicating in the chat, that's how those tests are. Now you're in there. They're supposed to not be talking to you. It's supposed to be you in there doing this, but they're watching you. They're studying your pattern. They're studying you to see how you react when you can't fix something or when you can't get something to work. The testing is not a joke. I don't think it's a setup because technically we're supposed to use our brain for everything we do, and it's not a setup. It's a good source to figure out if we're going to be that one that's going to have dementia or if we have cognitive issues. And that's what I go through. Yes, and appetite was the third one. See, Rob, you remembered it. You remembered all the words. Does anybody remember the numbers that I gave you? I don't. And I wrote the numbers down. Yes, please thumbs me up and share me out. Thank you so much, Life of Cleo. Thank you. So yes, definitely. Does anybody remember the four numbers that I gave you guys? Let's see. Did you write them down, Rob? Let me see. Hold on. I don't even remember them either. Let's see if you got the same numbers. Yeah, quite a few of you. Lady C is on it. He said, I'm paying attention now. Lady C Russell, she getting it. She is getting it. So then when it came time for me to do more of the testing, they kicked in. So you're thinking you're doing 1 + 1 is going to be all easy. These are things that you did in school. And yeah, how about they threw algebra in the factor? Algebra. I love math. Math was one of my strong suits was math. Math and science. Math and science was my stronger suit. And Jasmine easily said it's not a setup at all. No, it's functional because that's what our mind is supposed to do. So to say the least, we all need to try and do. Oh, they threw that in there. Yes. And and then Life of Cleo said that's the trick. No, they threw that in there. Then they threw in anything that your mind is set up where you're supposed to be able to do multiple things, but not too much. And that's what we do as humans. We actually put more on our plate than we can chew. And that is so not cool. And we do it to ourselves all the time. And I was always one that did it. If you guys went into my office and you saw how my desk was when I was working in the mortgage business, you would not believe how much stuff I had on my desk, but I never missed a beat. Never. Until I got a little bit older, and then I had MS on top of it, and then things started to get a little haywire. But my desk was all clean. So we put too much on our plate that we cannot chew. And that's what happens. Our brain goes into overload. They tested to see what our minds are capable and of what you are at risk for. Exactly, Rob, exactly. You're correct. Because they can tell people now, they can tell you if you are a candidate for Alzheimer's or dementia. So they can tell all of that. And it's no joke. It's no joke. I did not like to have I didn't like to, I'm the type of person that if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And that was my biggest problem, is that I didn't know how to say no. So if somebody said, can you do this for me today? I would say yes. I didn't know how to say no. And I want to say somebody, was it you, Miss Yo-Yo, that did a video on telling how to say no? I think you did something sort of like that. So you definitely, let's see, wow, they give us something to cure. No, there's really no cure for, now people with Alzheimer's and dementia, they do give them medication, because if you guys don't know, if I have, hey, Jason Nicole, if you can find that link for Miss Yo-Yo's video that she did, that's you're more than welcome to put it out there. You have to learn how to say no. Yeah, you have to learn how to say no. And I was that type of person that didn't know how to say no. And to answer your question, Lady C. Russell, yes, there is treatment for people that have dementia or Alzheimer's. And I'm going to tell you why. Because those people, which is another symptom that I go through too, they forget to swallow and they forget to eat. Some of them forget to breathe. And yes, you can forget to breathe. If you're at that state, you will forget to breathe. You will forget to eat. I forget to eat all the time. I forget all the time. I forget to, I forget how to swallow. I used to forget how to walk. I had to teach myself how to walk all over again. When I was first diagnosed and I was falling all the time, I had to teach myself how to walk again. But I refused to use a walker. I refused to use crutches. I refused to do a wheelchair. I refused all of it. But I had to teach myself how to do that again. You wouldn't be able to tell it now, but I could not. I had to teach myself how to do that. Yes, Vern, write it down. Now I'm going to tell you this too. And my husband used to stay on me all the time. Write it down, write it down. I'm like, who the heck gonna tell me where I wrote it down at? Because I would forget. And so you got the smartphone, keep it on your smartphone. But I would forget. I forget. Even now when I go to the store, because your mind, again, you write your list down to go to the store. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I do. I write the list down. I go to the store. And then I'm getting the things off my list. But guess what? The store, and I got a video coming out. The grocery store is a trap because they got all these wonderful sales and they got all this delicious stuff that's out. And your mind just wanders off. And I get in the car and I get home and I'm like, dack on it, I forgot to get the eggs. Or dack on it, I forgot to get this. You do it. You do it. You write it down and you still forget. And I always remember, never trust your mind. Always write it down. My friend CJ. Hey, Short Blast, welcome. Hello. Thank you for coming in. So yes, and the grocery stores are a trap. So again, that's your mind is overload. So you go into the store with your mind set on just buying your stuff on your list, but then you see all of this fabulous stuff and all these fabulous prices. And then you get in there and then you're like, well, I could get this out. And that's why I have an app on my phone now. It tells you exactly, you put your store in there and it tells you where each item is on that aisle. And then you mark it off and you go from there. And I mark my list off now. And I do not leave until I get everything on my list. And I always separate my cart. So I'm like, I'm going to do all this is what I have on my list. And this is that little small compartment of the things that I didn't have on my list that I just thought I had to have. So it does. It gets in your mind goes into overload. Jazzy says, I keep a list out when I'm shopping. Yes, I keep it out, but don't come with the $1 million. Yes, yes, exactly. It's brain overload. It's overload. Because you got to think about it. You think you're in the store. You first of all, you got to travel to the store. And lo and behold, if it's an accident or something that's going to get, or you can't find parking, and all those things in your mind is just going on and on. And now with the things that's going on in the world, you got to put your mask on. You got to get your hand sanitizer and all that stuff and get ready for it. And you're not really thinking about it. Your list. And then I've even come out of the house, got all the way to the store, and I'm like, I didn't bring any of my ID or nothing. Oh, great. Thank you, Lady C. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. I know I'll catch you in the bushes on your late nights. So thank you for coming. And I'm glad she remembered the 3 words, but she was on point. Did you remember the numbers? Let's see, did she say numbers? Yep, she did. Congratulations. Great. So yes, you definitely, it's your mind. This world, we're surrounded with so much that we definitely have too much on our plate. We really, and I don't know about anybody else, but if I have something to do, I don't put it out on anybody else, only because I was brought up, and my grandfather used to tell us all the time, if you have to do something, you better, if you want something done right, you better do it your darn self. Because if something goes wrong, you have nobody to fault but yourself. So that's one of my problems with saying no. That's one of my problems with saying no. We are surrounded with so much today. Exactly, Michelle, you are exactly right. Because it's just too much. It's too much. And we're thinking, especially like with me, I'm having to shop for me and for my family because I eat totally different from them. So I'm having to shop for me. And guess whose stuff ends up being left off? Because I'm worried about everybody else in the family. So our mind is on overload no matter what we do. So we have to think about ways to get through this. And again, I suggest any of the apps on your phone. They have games on the phone to help you remember, helps you to relax. Uh, Rob says, I love saying no now and not feel bad. That was your problem. That was your problem at one time. Oh, wow. You were able to come over that. It's still hard for me. No matter what I do, I don't, and it's not that I feel some kind of way about saying no to somebody. It's not, it's just that's that person that I am. I always want to help somebody. I'm always there to help. And because of that, I don't say no. I don't. So don't feel bad, guys. If you don't feel bad to ask me things, because now I have a little more leeway than I did when I was physically working. But we do have too much on our plate, and that's the biggest thing. And I think that had a lot to do with my cognitive difficulties, that I was just overloaded. I had way too much. Hey, Tuber Chat, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for coming. So yeah, that was my biggest thing, is that I was always overloaded. So back to the question about the cognitive difficulties. So I told you the story about me in the bank. I told you the story about me taking the test. But I will tell you that your skills have a lot to do with what you eat. It has a lot to do with, did I see Tiffany? Did I miss somebody? If I missed you, I do apologize. I do apologize. I welcome everybody with open arms. Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. Um, but anyway, so guys, when I do my videos, I'm just warning you guys in advance. Whenever I'm doing my videos, I know a lot of the stuff that I go through. And who else is better to know what they go through than myself? But I still have to write it down. Never trust your mind, always write it down. I have to write it down. So you will catch me looking down and up, because my memory will not allow me at this point to do those things. So I'm fighting really hard by doing the online applications, by doing coloring. Um, and yes, to relax the mind, I do use the adult coloring books and I color. So you got to do things to kind of relieve your body, because if you don't, you're gonna stay in overload mode. Let's see. I write down what I'm going to say. Yes, and you know what, Vern? I catch you writing your stuff down a lot because you talk, like, even when we're in some of the lives, you have a list and you check it off. Guys, I do use my checklist now. I do. I check about every time I go to your channel and I look at a video. I make a check mark so I know that I've been to your channel, things like that, because it's a lot. It's a lot, and I don't want anybody to not know, um, to be in this situation. Let's see. Jasmine says I did a I did a wisdom Wednesday about saying no a while ago. So yes. So Jasmine has a video also that she did. Um, I've been running off the mouth. Did anybody want to come up and explain any of these situations that they have dealt with, or what did they do to clear it up, or if there was anything that they done, or do they feel like it's gotten better or worse, or what? If anybody wants to come up, I'll be happy to drop the link for you. When I freestyle, I don't write it down, but then I can hardly remember what I said, but I can write it too. Yes. Did that then stop? The Life of Cleo. Oh. Did it stop for me? No. Because as you can tell now, I'm like lost of words. I write it down. Even like the simplest thing in the beginning of my live. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I wholeheartedly welcome you. Do you know, sometimes I have to say that a million times because I feel like I have forgotten something. So, but it works. It works. And I try a lot of the games online. Hold on, Jasmine. I do a lot of the games, the brain games. Like the one that I love is the one where you kind of like the game concentration. Where, hey Tiffany, there you go. I knew I saw somebody say Tiffany. Hey sis, how you doing? But I do a lot of those games, like the concentration. You got to figure out, here's the apples, and you got to pick it up, and it moves around. I do that, and it actually works for me. So yes, thank you. Miss Yo-Yo is on point. Okay, Taylor says, when I read a book, I can understand, but the main idea is who the protagonist is. And oh, really, Taylor? I do math problems like 10A plus 10A. I don't understand it. So yeah, Taylor, that's part of you have to keep trying. I will tell you that. Because at one time, I was an advocate. You guys have seen the books behind me when I've done my lives in my sunroom. I read a lot. That is the reason why. And somebody did a video, and I cannot remember who it was, and they were asking me, would I rather read a book or use the what is it called? Audible. And that is one of the reasons why I do Audible for my book club, but I actually prefer reading the book because it helps keep me fluent in my mind. Just like I was fluent in Spanish. And with that, over time, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I actually have done a lot of those. So yes, the games are great tools, great tools. So math and spelling, but they're not as bad as my memory. And people are like, oh, that's just because you're getting older. That's not the case. That's not the case. Mine's is my age and MS, and of course, being top heavy, loaded. My mind is loaded all the time. And many of you know I don't really sleep. Team no sleep, so it's always something going on in this little brain up here of mine. Jasmine is on the live. Hey, Jasmine, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah. But as you're talking about this, it got me thinking how you always tell me I remember everything.
Uh-huh.
But when somebody's talking to me, it's really hard for me not to space out. Even though I can remember what they're saying, like my mind will drift off completely and I won't remember, like, I won't know what just happened. It's like those whole 5 seconds just went away. And I can be looking directly at you and don't know what's going on. And it's a little weird. Like I don't
Wow.
remember anything after that.
Yeah, that is about how it is. Rob, you are so funny. If they want me to teach them Spanish, they then not try to go out of the country with it because it ain't gonna get them that far now. I used to handle Spanish accounts years ago. I have not done. I can tell you what this someone is saying. I do still know that. But yes, Jasmine, you're correct with being able to remember things. Like, here's the thing, guys. I don't know if you guys heard me say this before. I'm bad with the days of the week. That's one of the first things you learn in school: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I forget the day of the week. So, like, if it wasn't for the fact that I have schedules, hey, Monaco, hello, welcome. If I didn't have
Oh,
schedules and whatnot, I would forget that today is Wednesday. I forget the days of the week, but I can tell you the date. That number thing, my strength in numbers is better than my strength in words and things of that nature. So I could tell you that today is the 14th. Once I recognize it's the 14th when I get up in the morning. But sometimes when I do my videos, I have to cut that video and redo it because I'll tell you, I'm going live on Wednesday, the 14th. I always have to look because I'll forget the number, the date, the actual date. But birthdays, I can remember a birthday. I can. I can remember a birthday. I can remember anniversaries, but it's selective things, the selective memory thing that CJ was talking about, selective memory. So
mhm.
let's see. Rob says, I know a teacher if you ever want to keep in tune with your Espanol. Okay. Or I forget the days of the week all the time. So you forget the days of the week too. So yeah, it's top heavy. Do you find yourself, Jasmine, with a lot of things on your mind to the point that you forget to eat or anything like that?
Yeah, but I think most of the time that I usually forget to eat is because I usually never feel hungry. Even though every doctor that I've seen, they'd be like, I can tell you are hungry, but I never feel it. They say it's happening, but I never have that feeling. So if I don't feel hungry, I can honestly just be like, okay, I don't need to worry about food. And then they're just like, and then, my mother, she comes and be like, well, eat this even if you don't feel like it. Yeah.
Right.
We know how I feel about my textures and food, so that's a whole another issue.
Did you realize that forgetting to eat, even though your mind is not telling you to eat,
Hmm.
your mind, and also people think when their stomach is growling, it means that they're hungry. That's not what it is. That is not the truth. When you're hungry, your mind tells you that you're hungry. Your body tells you that you're hungry. And if there's nurses in here, they could actually confirm this with me too. That is not telling you that you're hungry when your stomach is growling. That is not it. It's not. That was one of the first things we learned in nursing school because somebody in
Um,
class was saying, "Oh, my stomach is growling. I'm hungry," and they were like, "That's not what that is." So, but yes, back with you, Jasmine. So yes, Memory. So, do you find yourself having problems with memory often?
Mm,
Do you? Is
not
it something that's
often.
pertaining to your CP? Because I think Taylor said that that was part of her situation.
My memory is very, very good. I can remember a lot of things, and that's fine. But I space out a lot. So if I'm concentrating on one thing and my mind drifts off, it's like I have to start over from the beginning because I don't know what just happened. It's like I leave my body, like my brain leaves. I don't know. It's like my mind will totally leave my body, and I don't really know what's going on. So it's not like I can pick up where I left off. I have to go all the way back to the beginning because I just went out of space for like 15 minutes, and then like I don't even hear people calling my name sometimes. I can
Okay.
hear you, but my mind doesn't hear you to tell me that you're calling me, if that
Right.
makes sense. Like I can hear you perfectly fine, but if I'm like blanked out, I don't hear anything, I don't see anything. Everything is just completely blank.
How were you as far as your school performance was? And before I go further, hey Sheila. Sheila said, "Wow, Jasmine, is that still going on for you?"
Yeah. To answer your question, yes.
Okay. Now, how was it for you in school?
In school, I got straight A's.
Okay.
Like I could remember all of that. It just took me a lot longer. There was more of a timing issue than not remembering. There was never enough time for me to finish the test. But I did very well in school.
Well, Life of Cleo said, "Daydreaming, you need more sleep, baby." I
Mm,
don't daydream.
sleep.
I don't have time to daydream because my mind is always in overload. I don't have time to daydream. But do you
Yeah.
daydream?
It's not caused by sleep because I've had that checked. It's not caused by sleep. It's just something that happens to where it'll shut off and space me out. But it's not caused by sleep.
Okay. And you said your school was fine. Now, further to see, you're much younger than I am. But do you still remember many of the things that you learned in school, or do you find yourself still having to catch up on things?
No, I remember a lot of things, and I guess I remember so much because I've always tutored somebody else's child. And now that my nieces and nephews are here every day, they're in three different grades. They're in first grade, fifth grade, and eighth grade. So it's like I have to remember all of that.
Now, Vern says, "What are some of the things I do to help myself?" Well, of course, I write a lot of stuff down now, Vern. I'm very good at writing, and I have a fetish of pens. So I buy pens, the color pens. So I have everything has to be so perfect. I put it in different colors. Like this month is green for October instead of orange. Orange is my favorite color, but I put everything in green. So like I'm checking things off in green. So when I go back, I can look at how my performance was. I do the games on the computer and on my phone. I do a lot of the games there. I um, I talk a lot to my family as far as, do you remember when we were this young and we did this, this, and this, just to see, just to keep that going. Now, everybody, I don't know if you know this or not, but you have a short-term memory and a long-term memory. Jasmine, which one is your favorite? Which one do you favor? Your long-term or your short-term?
Mm, it depends on the day because some days I'm better at remembering things that happened a while ago, and then some days I remember things that happened 5 minutes ago. But lists don't work for me.
The list
They
don't work for you.
confuse. They confuse me.
Now
I
I
can't.
do and also Vern, I journal. So I write a lot of things that happen to me so that I can go back if I forget. I journal. Mine's is short-term memory. I could tell you something that happened to me when I was 5 years old. But if you ask me what happened yesterday, I'm not gonna be able to help you. So my issue is short term. Long term is fine. Short term is the one that kicks me.
Mm,
So
mm,
anybody else that does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to come up? I dropped the link out to let you have the opportunity to come up and talk. I just want to know if anybody else is. It's good to know that you guys are going. Good to know that you guys are conversating out here and feeling comfortable with saying these things, because it's no joke. It really isn't. And I get told all the time to write it down, and I'm really bad. I'm cluttery. I'm a clutter in my business world. I've got everything just cluttered up, and once I go through it and tear it up, it's like I come from an industry that you don't throw anything away because you need paper trail, and I hold on to a lot of things, and then I get to thinking it's too much stuff, and that's another part. I have too much stuff in my life, so that's why I had to start downsizing and cutting things out. So it's a mess. When I exercise and eat right, I do feel better, less inflammation. Yes, yes. And again, guys,
Mhm.
your food intake has a lot to do with your the way your mind functions. The way your mind functions. So so with that, Jazz, you had let's see, that's always the case. Okay, I'm just looking at some of the comments in the chat.
Mhm.
So hey Pam Money, hey sis, how you doing?
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you hear people say it all the time that there is you well, they're probably not saying it to you, but I get it a lot. People are like, you're just getting old. I'm not 90 years old. And I don't like people to put that on me because I got enough on my plate already for you to start saying that I'm getting old and my brain is gonna start getting worse. I don't think it can get any worse than what it already is. That's why we have to fight to try and make it better and do things that's sensible to you as far as writing things down. Why doesn't writing things down work for you? Is it like me that you got to remember where you wrote it down at?
No, it's confusing because if I write it and I space out while I'm writing it, I won't know where I left off. So then it looks like, what was I even talking about if I end up spacing off in the middle of doing something? So it doesn't work for me.
Okay. Wow.
So I have an alarm for everything.
So an alarm. See, that would drive me completely bonkers. The noise won't work for me. Let me ask you guys, what were the three words that I told you guys at the beginning of the live? Does anybody remember the three words that I said? I record myself on my phone also. You do a voice memo, Fern?
I remember the words, but I won't say them.
Okay, please don't. Do anybody remember the three words? Uh-huh. Come on, Rob. You know them. Come on. Anybody know the three words? Rob says he remembers. Have you tried the door treatment? Oh, Vern didn't hear him. Um, okay, we'll see how many people remembered, then we'll say it again, Vern. Life of Cleo said no. I don't either. Since Jasmine know, I'm gonna have her to say them in a minute. Rob said he remembers the numbers too. Rob, you wrote them down, didn't you, Rob? You guys were supposed to write them down. You're supposed to remember them.
Yeah, I
Okay,
didn't write them down.
what were the three words, Jasmine?
Appetite, puppy, and legal.
Appetite, puppy, and legal. Vern, the three
Mm.
words were appetite, puppy, and legal. And they were not supposed to write them down. They're just going to have to remember them. And what were the four numbers? I know one of them was 67, was it? Or 54?
One of them was 54. I spaced out during that part of the conversation, so I really don't know.
What were the
But I
numbers,
know
Rob?
one of them.
Rob remembered. What were the numbers, Rob?
I actually do remember.
You do?
They were, I think I do. They were 13, 54, 76, and 99.
Okay, Rob put it in the Rob, did you put it in the exact order? Hold on. I think Rob put it in the exact order too. You are too funny.
Yeah.
54, 13, 16. You got it wrong, Rob. That's not it. Aha. Uh-oh. You got one of the wrong. But that's the way he put it. That's the next thing I was going to talk to you guys about. Okay. Jasmine got him. She did it in a different order. Rob got him, but Rob, 76 was the number. You flipped the number around.
Yeah.
We had 67. It was 76. You flipped the number around. And I did that a lot too. I did it a lot. And I still do it. So those were the numbers, guys. So the number is 54, 13, 76, and 99. But I flipped the numbers around quite a bit. Yeah, I flipped the numbers around when I was testing quite a bit. Um, and then the words, they give you a word that was like, I'm trying to think of the term that if you flip the word around, it meant the same or something. I didn't quite get that one. What about food? You want a burger, eat it, but then say, oh, now I want fish. No, Fern. Um, I know some people do that, and that's always a big argument too. Well, not an argument, but that's always a big thing when we're out. And I was like, what do you want to dinner? What do you want for dinner? We would go out to eat or something. And he was like, well, what do you want? I was like, I don't know, whatever you want. And then it's always, we never get to go out. We end up going home cooking because neither one of us could figure out what we want. So yes, the flip around. That was another one. I did that tonight, Vern. You said you wanted one thing, but then ended up with another, wanting another. Hey, that's understandable. I do. Let's see. He had tuna, but I had tuna, and you didn't have both of them together. Please tell my facial expression. Please tell me you didn't just say that. You didn't eat both of them. And if you ate cereal, you know that ends up constituting you having to have moo. But yes, the flip around. They said that that's part of being dyslexic. That wasn't a thing when I was growing up. So either you got it or you didn't get it. So they never tested people for dyslexia. So have you been tested for that before, Jasmine? Uh-oh, I think Jasmine's gone. Has anybody ever been told that they may be dyslexic? You eat kind of weird. Yeah, that's very weird. I'm sorry. Love you long time. That's very weird. Computer is frozen. Okay, Jasmine. So yes, when you flip the numbers around, that was part of the testing they did too to see if I was dyslexic, and I wasn't. Yes, Vern with the moo. I wasn't, but that was part of the testing that I had to do. Also, they had. Let's see, I thought I was, but still no hard evidence. Yeah, because they really didn't test that. They come out with things just on the whim. It's like, oh, you got dyslexia. What is that? People just start talking about things, and then they do testing. And I appreciate the medical profession. I appreciate them because I'm part of that journey too. But I am like, okay, what is really going on? Thank God that of my background, because I do a lot of process of elimination. So by the time I get to the doctors, I've already eliminated everything that they're going to come off their list. Okay, again with that testing, Black folks. Yeah, the testing just out of the blue. You think you are Life of Cleo? You think you are Cleo? I just know that I hesitate when I do, and that's part of my journey now. I'm a public speaker for the Multiple Sclerosis Society, and I have to have a whiteboard with everything that I'm going to say because I will forget. And granted, I have multiple sclerosis, so I know what's going on. And when I talk to the patients, because I do patient calls, and when I talk to them, sometimes I have to stop and catch myself, and you'll find me saying a lot of times in some of my videos, MS moment, MS moment, MS moment, MS moment, and then it'll come to me because words don't come freely. Jasmine said that she was tested for dyslexia, and I'm taking it that everything panned out that you were not. And Cleo says she thinks she is. Hmm. Why do you think so, Cleo? Is it because you may be doing things in a total different way? Are you flipping things around? Or what makes you think that you are? So, with testing, when I was younger, testing was not a problem. And that's again how I figured out that it was that I had multiple sclerosis longer than the diagnosis, because after I got to a certain age, things started changing. And it had nothing to do with my age because I was younger then. So I was never told that I had dyslexia. I wasn't dyslexic. So I think most of my problem stems from I have lesions on my brain and my spinal cord. So I do know a lot of my problems come from that. I had, I want to say 18 or 19 lesions on my brain, and I forgot how many on my spine. So I'm battling the demons in both directions. So writing B and D. Okay. It was a number that it was something that one of the kids was having a problem with, and I'm trying to think which one it was. Was it the letter? Was it? It may have been B and D. To be honest, I think it may have been that same thing, or maybe it was the letter. Was it an 8? I'm just thinking about one of the kids. They could not. One of the children could not get the letter correct or the number because their mind didn't quite function with that. I thought I was because in school I could always get an answer but couldn't explain it. Okay, that's a good one. That was one too. I mix them up sometimes. Okay. And I find it, but I was tested because of my CP on the left side. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. So yeah, I'm telling you, it's something that I don't know. It is something totally different. Let's see. So Pam Money is speaking to Vern and Rob and the life of Cleo. So guys, yeah, this cognitive thing is it's no joke, and it's not so much of my learning ability. It also has something to do with my speech. So you would not think it because I'm talking to you guys on a live, but I prepared for it. And no matter how much I write and how much I study it, I still have problems because, yeah, I'm looking at my notes down below and I'm switching over to another screen to see things. So, yes, it is. I could be a walking death trap thinking I'm healthy. I need a black doctor from the hood. Well, I don't know. You might want to watch what you ask for. They ain't always the best now. I've seen some that's just like, ooh, no, no, never, never, never. Because I'm really funny about my doctors. I'm really funny about the doctors. I interview. I don't know about anybody else, but I interview my doctors before I go to them. And what I do also is I go to I go to Emory Emory University Hospital here in Atlanta, and they're like the big hospital here, and they got good recommendations, good star. What are those things called? Where you call in and talk about the doctors and whatnot. So anyway, I interview the doctors. First thing I do is I call and I ask them, where's the doctor from? Where did they go to school? Where did they do their training? How long have they been licensed? Have they had any problems before? Oh, I interview the heck out of those people. And then when I get the doctor, I interview the doctor. When I go in to meet the doctor, I start asking questions because I've been in a situation where the doctor almost killed me. So I don't trust them. I have to get my information straight from them. I don't I don't play. You only have one ticker, guys, and if you let that fail, you're all in trouble. Hey, Crystal Vlog. Hey, sis, how you doing? Welcome. So yes, the so mine's again. It's my speech. It's my memory. And when all of that is together, I do know that I'm top loaded with a lot of things on my brain that I have to slow down. That's the one thing that I've been trying to do is slow down and eating I'm a pretty good eater. I think I'm a pretty good eater. Um, but eating healthy um, and getting your rest, because that has a lot to do with it. No matter how hard we try, it's really hard. As a matter of fact, I did a video yesterday. I got the foot pads that's supposed to extract all of the unhealthy impurities in the body. It's supposed to help you to rest. It's supposed to help you to do a list of things. So I am going to be trying that starting tonight, and I'm going to see if that works. I also tried the CBD oil as well. I'm still doing that. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Amen to that. Amen to that, Rob. You are so right. So I don't know of anything else. Does anybody else have any other problems that they're dealing with? I know, right, Rob. That is so true. Any other things that they're dealing with for their cognitive issues? Okay, so I'm going to also see. I'm looking at notes now. I will. Your problem is rest, and you're in a um, swollen ankles. You are in a industry. I'll just put it that way without telling your business. That is keeps you got to be on your p's and q's. You got to be ready to jump at it. Swollen ankles. Why do you have swollen ankles? Have you had have you been tested? And I should have said this in the beginning. Oh my goodness, shame on me, guys. I'm not a doctor. And if you try anything, you need to get it from your doctor first. Eat to Live Strong is not a doctor. And I'm only telling you experiences that I have had. So please don't come in because I ain't got nothing for you anyway. Don't do it. Yeah, elevate your feet. Yeah. And then if you I don't know, everybody can't drink a lot of water, and you can drink too much water. That is a known fact. You can drink too much water, but I have missed my medicine for 2 days. What? How you miss your medicine? You got to get your prescription. Okay, okay, Vern. Now that is another thing. I I did, Vern. Thank you. Um, definitely medication. My treatment comes it used to come in this packet, and it had you right on the front to tell you when you start, and you go in and you pop it out, and each day you take it and you pop it out. Well, they changed the packaging. Oh, Rob, don't do that. You got to schedule it. See, there you go. Never trust your mind. Always write it down. So I put mine. So they sent it in a different packaging. Now they put it in a regular old bottle, and you have to write it down and just know when you take the medicine. And I'm known for forgetting. Yeah, please get your meds, Rob. Please get them. But I'm known for forgetting to take my medicine, right? So I called the pharmaceutical company and I said, listen, why did y'all change the packaging? Well, it costs too much money. And I'm like, as if the $13,000 a month that I pay y'all for this medicine ain't enough to pay for the packaging. But they ended up saying that they weren't going to go back to that packaging. So one night, I'm sitting down, like, as a matter of fact, I forgot to take my medicine yesterday. So I had to take it today. So I missed the day. So my doctor's like, well, don't worry. It stays in your system for 2 years. Why the heck do I take it every day? But anyway, I took it today because I missed yesterday. So one night I was sitting down and I was like, I don't remember if I took my medicine. I don't remember the last time I took the medicine. So I ended up pouring all the medicine out, and I was counting them, trying to go back and remember. Yeah, again, remember when I last took the medicine. So I had to call the nurse, the night nurse, and ask her how long, when did I get the prescription? I said, I don't forget if I took it. I'm scared. And at that time, it was a different medication. That medication, you had to take it every day. If you missed a day, you would have to go back and get observation for 24 hours. And the insurance wasn't going to pay for the second time. So they tell you to make sure you take it every day. And I was crying. I was upset. I was like, I do not know if I took it or not. And they were like, well, I say, can I go ahead and take the pill now? And what I will do is just monitor my blood pressure and everything and watch it over the next 24 hours. Because that's how they do when they take you in for observation, is they monitor you, make sure your blood pressure doesn't go skyrocketing, and they just monitor you. And I can monitor that. So I was in there and they were like, the pharmacist was like, yeah, you can do it. So the pharmacist called me for like the first 3 hours. And so the last time he called me was 2 a.m. And I said, oh, yeah, blood pressure is fine. I'm checking it every hour on the hour. But I said, why did y'all change the packaging? Because had they not changed the packaging, I would have known if I had missed the day of the medication. So each and every one of those pharmaceutical companies are changing their packaging. Now, we sit on a panel and we tell people what we want in our medication as far as the packaging. And they tell you, we describe how the packaging was good for us and was user friendly, because some of us, like me, I have no feeling in my right hand. So I'm trying to open up a bottle and I can't. So I'm having to open it with my left hand, which is not my dominant hand. And we're just trying to tell them, why did you change the packaging? When you had the packaging, we just sit there and pop it out, and when you started it, so you can count back the date. So apparently, all of us complaining about it, they're supposed to be changing it. So hopefully that's coming soon, because I thought that was the dumbest thing for them to change the packaging. Because taking my medication it's a must. I have to take it. And of course, the treatment, I forget to take it. And no matter what they told me to do, put it by the bathroom sink. Because they said, what's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning? I go brush my teeth. And it was like, well, why don't you put it by your toothbrush? It's like putting food in the bathroom. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to remember to take that. So they would tell me to go ahead, and they said, well, why don't you try something else? Why don't you try those little containers? And I got so many of those. If anybody need them, let me know. I'll send it to them. I'm tired of them. The ones that have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those things don't work for me. No. So I'm trying to see what you wrote in there, Sheila. Okay, Vern. So yeah, they actually did not. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't. Okay, Life of Cleo. Thank you for coming. And I was on your video. I gotta go leave the comment too. That was your blog from yesterday. I was on there. You didn't see me, but I think maybe I did speak and you saw me in there. I don't know. But I'll make sure that I put the comment on there today. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Enjoy your day and don't work too hard, and unload some of that stuff off the dome, as I call it. Unload. Okay. All right. So I'll talk to you later. Thank you for coming. So, but guys, yeah, that's just remember to take something as simple as taking my medicine. I forget. Because coming from somebody that was holistic, that didn't take a freaking aspirin, to somebody that has to take a pill every day, that was one of the hardest things. Thanks for the love, girl. Anybody else have anything that they've been dealing with for cognitive issues, if it's speech, if it's your memory, if it's your, you know, anything, testing, any of the tests, because the test, I'm telling you, that test is no joke. And that test was an 8-hour test. 8-hour test. Each time I go, I have to go for 8 hours. They tell you, bring your lunch because you cannot leave the room. So you have to stay in there, eat your lunch and everything in there. They watch you. They write down everything. It's like they check to see when I slapped the game off the table, and they were like, they thought that I was a little, what's the word that they use? Not feisty, but they thought that I was having some type of mental breakdown. So they were like, they signed me up to go see a psychiatrist. I agree. They need to change the packages back. Sheila, I think they're changing it. I've got a message that they are changing our packaging back. If you're on the same one that I'm on, they're changing it back because I sat on the panel and we complained about it. It was so many. And the package, when I tell you, I wish I still had it. The package is a little thin package with a little bitty pill in it, and you just pop it out. You can put it in your purse. You can get on the plane with it, no problem. But this one, the one that you have now, is a bottle. You got to open it. Then they put this big old thing in it to keep it from getting wet and the moisture and all that stuff. And it's really hard to deal with. I don't like that at all. So most of us complained about it. And I'm hoping that it's going to be changed in the next few weeks, because we stayed in that panel for 3 days telling them what we thought about that packaging. 3 days of our back and forth, what about this? What do you think you should do with this? Should we change it to that? Why don't we do this? And their biggest thing, but this one costs too much money. And then it's like, but then we're actually destroying the earth because it's paper. You can use it with something else. You can use it. Better yet, tell us to send them back. Send the packaging back, and you guys could refill it. So as much money as they make, money should not be a problem. It does not cost too much money. Okay, so anybody else had any other problems that they want to talk about, cognitive reasons? Anything that you want to talk about, now is the time to talk about it so that we can all help you through it. If you have any suggestions, anybody other than writing stuff down, anybody have any suggestions that somebody that's going through memory problems should do? I've already said we need to write it down. I journal, and your eating habits have a lot to do with it. Anything else that anybody, and play the games on the computer. So when I'm in the bed at night and I can't sleep, I'm on my phone and I'm playing games. I'm playing, I'll tell you what games I play. Let me go to my games. I've got so many games on my phone. I play Word Search. I play Luminosity. I play Wordscape. I play the block triangle, where you stack the blocks to make it fit onto the triangle. I do Word Connect and Memory. What is that one? Memory Jewels. And I have like 7 or 8 games on my phone. And I play the games at night, especially when I'm trying to wind down and go to sleep, because TV doesn't work for me. I don't watch TV. And if TV on, it's got to be the worst show in the world and the most boringest show in the world for me to go to sleep. And I have a habit of being able to block things out, because people are like, many of you that talk to me on the phone and they hear the bird, they're like, oh, the bird. And I don't even hear the bird. I block her out. I zone her out so it doesn't bother me. Yeah, Word Connect is a good one. What level are you on that one? Do you play it often, Crystal Vlogs? But I play that one a lot. Let me put my thing back on too, because otherwise I've got a delay. So I want to make sure I catch your signature. You like Word Connect? Yeah. I like all of those games. They're really good. They help you with your memory. Luminosity is really a good one too. That was the first one that I started to use, is Luminosity. And they're free games. The only way, here's my motto. If it's free, it's all about me. If you got to pay, it has to stay. I ain't paying for no apps. No. I'll look at the ads. I'll look at the ads before I do that. I can't remember the level. I do adult coloring the most. I love the adult coloring too. I love adult coloring. Adult coloring is awesome. It takes a lot of distraction. It takes a lot of stress off of you. I don't know if anybody else. It was one of my lives that I did, and I was mentioning adult coloring is a great is a great thing to do. Adult coloring is. I play games like board games too. So those are some of the things we can do to help us with our cognitive issues. It kind of speeds you up too, keeps you up to speed. So wow, we have 8 amazing content creators that's still in the chat. I appreciate you guys. The chat was loaded tonight, and I appreciate everybody that came in. I hate that I didn't get to say bye to everybody that's gone, but I thank you guys also for coming out tonight. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys and tell you what I go through on this MS journey. A lot of people have a lot of the symptoms that they don't take. They don't think anything of it. And like I didn't, because when I first started, I was falling a lot. And I was thinking that the fact that I was falling, my running joke with my coworker was like, I'm tripping over air. And I thought I was falling, I was tripping over air. Who trips over air, right? And I saw all those signs and never went and got them checked until, you know, years later. Yes, crocheting does work too, Jasmine. It does. I do. Now, here's the thing about crocheting. You know, sometimes I don't do small projects. I make the bigger projects, and then I cannot talk to you guys on a live at crochet because I have to count the stitches, right? And I don't want to frog I don't want to frog where I have to go back, take everything out, and do it again. So I don't like to do that. So that's one of the other things that I disagree. You know, with crochet, I love to do it, but I have to do it in the comforts of my own, with nobody but not even the music playing, not even the birds, even though I can tune them out. There's something about when I'm counting, my mind has to be focused right there on that project with counting the stitches. Otherwise, I'll wake up and it's supposed to be a square and it's an oblong or it's a circle. So crochet does help too. Walking helps too, like Vern said, exercising. So, and I've been catching Crystal Vlog, been on her IG, and she's been out hitting that pavement, hitting that track and walking. Good for you, girl. I'm so proud of you. Happy for you. But walking helps too. You kind of debrief, take your mind down. So, but we're coming up on 8 o'clock. I was trying to stay on to 9:30. Sorry, we're coming up on 9 o'clock. I wanted to stay on to 9:30, but if you guys don't have anything else that you want to talk about, I will release the live at. I'm not releasing it. You can leave when you want to. I didn't mean it like that, guys. But I can shut down at like 9 o'clock if you guys don't have anything else you want to talk about. But I hope that my information has been informative to you. And a lot of you guys have probably noticed that I have been coming out to your content and leaving messages on your content. So I'm slowly but surely getting caught up, and my new schedule has worked tremendously for me because it gives me the opportunity to go out and visit some of your homes. And you have a great night too, Crystal Vlog. I'll see you on the IG world, honey. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. What you cook for dinner? I'm going to go out there and check it on IG. So if you guys don't have Crystal Vlog's lifestyle, go check her out, grab her up, and she's also on IG. Did you send another message, Vern? Hold on, let me go. Let me check. Give me just a second, Vern. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I got it. So yes. So guys, what I am going to do, Vern, and I will be over there shortly. So it is coming up on 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My schedule is going to remain the same. So Monday, I will give you content. It will be content on
It's 9 o'clock.
Content on what I'm going to talk about on Wednesday on my live. Tuesdays is my review day where I review your content. Also, I record my videos. And then on Thursday, I will put out content. I don't do anything on Friday. I put a content out on Saturday and I'm off on Sunday. Occasionally, you will catch me dropping a video like I did yesterday. And the only reason I dropped that video was because it was a Amazon Prime Day and I had some packages from Amazon. And then on top of that, my premiere didn't go through on Monday. At least I didn't see it go through. A lot of people said it didn't, but when I look at it, it says premiere and everything looks the same. So with that being said, I will be back with a content on tomorrow, which means I got to go downstairs and record. And then I will see you guys on, hopefully I'll see you guys on my content for tomorrow. But other than that, I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging with me tonight. I hope I was able to give you some answers. And real quick, anybody that's still in the chat, do you remember the 3 words and the 4 numbers? If you do, just say yes or no for me, please. And other than that, I'm going to go ahead and release this live, and you guys can just come back and visit me when you visit me, and I appreciate you coming. So tell me really quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and end the live. Oh, and I forgot, this thing is behind. There's a delay. Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Jasmine remembered. So I appreciate you guys for coming out. You guys, please keep my sister Living Better with Style _Rucker in prayer. She is not feeling well. She is resting, but is in a lot of pain. So please keep her in your prayers. Please continue to keep each other in prayer and love on each other, because we're not out here by ourselves. We can all do it. We can all love on each other. So thank you so much for coming out tonight. I will see you guys on my content on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll see you guys next time. See you next time. Love you long time. Bye now. Vern, I'll be ready in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Thanks for coming, guys. Bye now. Hey Taylor, welcome back. I ended the live, so it's over. I'm actually just finishing up some paperwork here. Did you have any other questions? She's so funny. Too funny, Vern. Okay, Taylor, again, I am ending the live, so I thank you so very much for joining me today. I hope you guys learned some information. I will be putting out a video tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I will be back again on Saturday. And then Monday, it starts all over again. Thank you again so much for coming. See you next time. Love you, Mountain. Bye bye now.